Hello and welcome to this week's tutorial. My name is JuttaAliisa. This is my channel where we mostly discuss things yarn. Crochet, sometimes maybe knitting, but mostly crochet. This week we're making a bit bigger project. We are making a cardigan out of the square I had tutorial last week. Yarn and the squares. So if you want to make these squares, I will link here somewhere up here the last week's tutorial so you can check it out. And in this week tutorial we're gonna put the shirt together and see how it's get to be done. So as a yarn I have this one. It's a pretty small brand called Sostrene Grene, and it's from Denmark. And I will link the yarn in the description. This yarn is wool and bamboo viscose. So 70% wool and 30% viscose from bamboo. And I've been using a hook number 4 millimeters to work with this. And this is how you get the same size square. But this cardigan is super sizable, so whatever your size is, the square is not too big, so it's very easy to put one row more or one less, depending on the size. You can also make this smaller or bigger by choosing different yarn or hook size. Yeah, I have 3 colors, pink, green and white, so very nice colors. You can also, of course, do just one color and maybe 2 colors, whatever is what you want to do. But right now I will do some more squares. I need 45 and 46 for this size I'm making. And let's do some squares. It's ready. Ta-da! It's time to weave in some ends. You know, the favorite thing we all do. I have needle, I have scissors, I have headphones for audiobook. Let's do this. Hello, friends, family, neighbors, and newbies. It's update time. So the cardigan is coming together. I ran out of the pink yarn, so I have to wait for restock. And it should be here on Friday, some squares. I do have the green one, so I'm able to finish all the green ones. And I'm also able to do all the measuring, so I just have to attach the pink ones and that will be it. We have half of the body section ready here. So this will be the shoulder here, and this is the back, and this is the front. It's similar, so but anyway, you know what I mean. How can I help you?
Are you filming?
Yes. Do you need something? Hello? This is the one that will have the shirt.
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. You can go now. I totally lost my thought. What was I talking about? No, I was gonna talk about how I feel about this project now that I am about halfway through. It's been 2 weeks, but not full-time 2 weeks, because I started the Tapestry project out of a crazy motivation rush for that. So it's been basically 1 week and 1 weekend, and we're getting there. They are easy to do, and I usually do a couple when I commute to work and stuff like that. So I highly recommend it. I also love the yarn. I mean, it's perfect. It's so easy to work with. It's so nice on hook and for fingers. And I never used this one before, and unfortunately, it's not very widely available. It's from a local store here in Europe, and I have the bag here. It's Danish. Again, a Danish gift to the world. Sostrene Grenes. They have all sorts of crafts things and household things and small interior design stuff, but the back has a list of countries you can find it from. Not sponsored by them, just like them, as usual. If they want to sponsor me, that's fine too. The recommended hook size is 2.5 to 3, but I used 4, but because we wanted a fluffy, airy type of texture. I could easily crochet this with a smaller hook, but I would end up a much tighter and smaller. I don't know what I would recommend, but any wool yarn would do. Just test it out, do 1 square and see how it's sized and if it fits your needs. If it doesn't, try something else. That's my philosophy with crochet. I'll get back to you with the next update, which is hopefully somewhere between all of these joined and making the hem and the sleeves and maybe color, maybe buttons. I don't know yet, so might be button up, might not be. So we will see how everything turns out. So I'm not following a pattern here, as you can probably tell. So let's put this thing together. This is my basic like granny square cardigan layout where I start. Don't mind the numbers, I made it for a cardigan that has more colors than 2, but when you have 2 colors, you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. Very simple. But this is where I always start to build. And what I do first is this bunch. This goes from your front to your back, so above your shoulder. This is the first 2 I attach is to determine the length of the cardigan. So you can easily add to this end and to this end, and always remember that in a halfway through you need extra strip for the back to connect them, and half of them is open where you put buttons and stuff. And then also in the middle this way, once we have determined the length, and also if you need to add width, so if you have the smaller squares you have, the more you need to add. So this project, I already, as you saw, I added 3rd row here because I had quite small. So if I add 3rd row here, I also have to add the length for the sleeves. And also because she requested longer sleeves, I added 2 here. But this is where I start. This is the, you can, if you make cropped, just delete this row and this row, and it's shorter. So like always start with this, make a certain amount, check the length is good, then check the width. If you need more, then you can do the other one, then you can connect them, then try again if you have to, you know, add more. You can always add more as long as you haven't done the rip or border or whatever you're doing to finish it. As long as that's not done, you can always add more. So I recommend you to test. That's how I always come up with my patterns and that's also easy, of course, because I mainly do things to my family. So I have them here so they can test them out. But this is where I start. It is simple. It is the same for all of them. So just adding or removing squares to make the fit right. Now we are at the joining phase, and what I essentially do, because it's squares, I will use my stitch markers to point out the actual corners of these, just to make sure I hit the right one. So I will mark them from the inside loop, so we are joining from the outside loop, so it makes it very easy, and I can just go straight through this without wondering too much which stitches I should choose. The joining itself, I also have a video about it, so I'm gonna put it right here. If you need more precise instructions, you can join these any way you want. This is the way I chose for this particular project, but it's not mandatory. You can choose to use something you're more familiar with or you like more. This is what we are going to do. So now I'm going to attach the markers, and then we're going to go through this vertically. And once all the vertically, I started here. This is the sleeve, this is the first panel, this is the back piece, and I have another panel to make and one more sleeve. And then we're gonna fit it to see if I have to, you know, make something more. I only have 3 pieces in the sleeve because this is a drop shoulder, so it's a bit oversized, so I don't want the sleeves to be too long. But if I have to, it's very easy to make a couple more and then add it here if needed. Now let's join these in depth from the outside loops through both, and then we just keep going. Next ones, and through all of them, and so on. The yarn stays on the back of the work, and the front side of the work is up. The good side of this joining is the fact that you're using one piece of yarn, so you don't have to estimate how much yarn you need. You don't have to pull long yarn through any stitches. And the bad side is, this is only my opinion of course, is that this is, at least with this wool yarn, it's quite slow. But I think it's one of the most beautiful joins, so that's why I still use it. And when you have the markers, if you don't end up at the marker stage at the same time, you know you skipped something and you can go back. Because at least I don't trust myself while doing these things. So sometimes it's good to have reassurances. We're halfway through the joining. I seriously hope that I would have so many stitch markers that I could just mark every corner of every one of these. I think that would make my job a lot easier. Not my favorite process of making a granny cardigan. I hate joining almost as much as I hate weaving in the ends. Let's keep pushing! Ta-da! Almost done with this. It is time for some test.
Done.
It's time. Backwards. So we can see you. Bruh.
Stop steering me.
I think it's quite good size. This is the back side, so it's here. And I think that the sleeves are go this way. No, that way. That the sleeves are long enough because we are doing the rib here. Or do you want them to be longer?
I want like long sleeves.
So one more.
I want long sleeves, like actually like long sleeves. Like long sleeves.
Do more.
Okay. I want long sleeves.
So we are making more squares.
Subscribe.
Oh, I need to make 8 more to incorporate the wish for the long sleeves. To be honest, I would rather not, because I've made almost 100 of these. But what's 8 more? What's 8 more? Then we will put this thing together, and then that's it. That's truly it. Then we're done. Here we go again.
So cute.
You like it?
Yeah. It's like exactly.
Now we have long sleeves.
Yeah.
Do you want buttons or without buttons?
I like 1, 2, or 3 buttons on the bottom, and then it's like open at the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1, 2.
Yeah, like that.
Like this.
I want it to look like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This will be awesome at winter.
It will.
Yeah, I can snuggle up in it, and it'll be awesome. And don't forget to subscribe.
As you can see, we have all the joining done now. And to be honest, this looks brilliant because it looks a little bit like a big waffle type of thingy
Like,
with the flat slip stitch join. So now we will do the edges and then we are done.
it's like a blue and it's like a green and pink marshmallow.
Yeah. It's heavy and I can feel that it's super warm. She didn't want any cinching in the sleeves or waist or anything. So we're back and I made one of the sleeves. Very basic edge for a sleeve. and kept it large, so no cincing at all. So yeah, I only did 10 stitches, but it will still make the sleeve even longer, and that's what she wanted, and that's what I'm gonna do, because this is for her. So it's made completely freehand, so we've been growing it according to her demands along the way. So now we only do one more of these to the...
My shoe is stuck on me. I need help to untie it.
Okay, so yeah, I will show you how to do this, and then we'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. So, while I said that she didn't want any cinching in it, so we're not losing any stitches, I do use a half a size smaller hook for this one. So I start by attaching the yarn, and I will attach it, as here is the shirt, and this will be the underside of the arm. And there's really not much visible things going on, but as I did this one, when you... Can I even find it? Here. So the last one where you attach this, join the sides together, it's a bit visible if you want to see it. So I will put this seam underarm so it's not that visible. But you know, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just my perfectionism doing things. So first we will make a round of single stitches, just full round, and it doesn't really matter if you prefer working on the right side or on the wrong side, as long as we will end up with a round of single stitches, single crochet. I'm sorry about the single stitch thing, but it just makes more sense in my own language to say that, so I just keep saying it. And I will attach, not directly to the seam here, but this first like full whole good stitch we have here, and I will use it. And that's because we will use this one as well, but I will show you what we do with them to make them look nice and clean. Oh, I totally forgot to make so we start with slip knot, and then we just start doing it. So this is nothing complicated. You are able to do that. Chain one, and then we start. There's no special tricks to it. The only thing I'm gonna show you is the seam we have where we join the squares, and I will show you how to make sure you have all the stitches. Again, if you're using this type of wool yarn, it's very forgiving, so if you lose a stitch here and there during this process, it really doesn't show, but I prefer to show you how to do it properly. When you come to the join and you see we have only used the back loop, please make sure you use both, because if you only use the back loop, you will end up with a hole in all of these positions, and you don't want that. So be sure you pick both loops of this stitch so we can have nice and neat finish. And this can be tricky if this has pulled it very tight, but just still do it. I promise you it's worth it. So now we can see that we leave no holes behind us, and it will be nice and neat. And we will do this the whole round, so I will meet you at the end of it. So here we are at the end. Just let's take the final stitches here. And here, and then we will slip stitch to the chain we made at the start of the round. So this is the base for our sleeves, and then the rib will be the next step. So I chose, and you can choose however wide you want, but I will do 10 stitches. So we will chain 10 and 1 for turning, and then we will single stitch back to where we started. And 10. Then, because as you can see, we are doing this way, so we need to attach it here. So for the next single crochet here, we will slip stitch here, like this. So now we have both rounds going up and coming back down, attached properly here. And when we move to round 3, so we go up again, we started with single crochet to the next stitch here, turn to work, and we go up with single crochet to the back loop only. I'm sorry this is white, the yarn is white, so it's a bit tricky, but I hope you can at least somewhat see what I'm doing. So we will go back up again 10 using back loop only. 1, and the back loop only is the one that creates the effect of a rib. And at the end here, one more, you will chain 1 for turning. And again, you turn your work and back loop only to the other direction. I recommend counting these. This is something where you easily lose or pick up extra. So you will learn to see the points, the risky points, while go along, but just in case, it will be neater if you can keep the 10 stitches all the way. And again, we are arriving at the end, and we need to attach this round so we don't end up having any holes or anything. So again, next stitch we will slip stitch this in place, and the next round we'll start with single crochet here and turning the work. So here we have the risky points, because this is the first one we're gonna stitch to. So here is a couple of iffy ones because you did the slip stitch and stuff like that, but this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is the one you will choose. Because you have the turning of the work. You first make the single crochet, then you turn to work. So there is kinda extra, but it's not extra and you should not care about them. The one is from the slip stitch and the other one is from a single crochet. Start with this one, don't pick up extra. And this is how you keep going through the whole thing. There's no changes in this at any point, and I will get back to you when we are done to show how I will attach them, and then we will move on to the rest of the rib we will have in this work, which will be down here maybe I'll make, I don't know, I'm afraid of running out of yarn because I've run out of yarn many times during this work already. So I have at least 2 different greens and 2 different pinks. I don't want 2 different white ones, but we'll see. So she wanted a bit wider rib here, down here. And then we of course have the front here, which we will also attach buttons chosen by her, which are wooden buttons. And just 2 or 3?
What?
You wanted 2 or 3 buttons?
2.
2 buttons, only 2. We're getting to an end, and at this point, I will only make 1 row down. So this stitch is taken. This will be the one that I will slip stitch, and this is the one we started the chain from. So we only have 1 here left. So we will go down, and then we will close the sleeve. One more, and then we will slip stitch here. And the last one. And then we will take enough yarn to sew these together. So I don't know, depending how thick band you made. That's enough for me. Go through. So you can turn the whole work upside down if you want to. I find this a bit easier, so I'm just gonna do this. So both here and 1 here, and we just go through the whole thing. I usually make a double at the end, like this. And that's it. It is done. So what is going to happen is that I will run out of yarn because this is all I have left. So I will ask my husband to bring me 1 more ball of this color, which is luckily available near us, near his work. So, but I can still start with this, and we will do the same as we did with the sleeves. So I will single crochet around the edges. So I will start from this corner, and I will go around here, and then the back, and then I will come here, and then I take it up here, and here, all with 1 yarn, so I don't have to cut it. And then I can start this piece straight from this corner and go like this and here. And she also wanted a bit thicker down here, so I'm probably gonna go, I think I'm gonna go with 20, so it will be like as much as the square. I think that would be pleasing aesthetically. And then this middle part, front part, I'm gonna go with 10 as well. But the technique is exactly the same because she also didn't want to cinch this part in at all. So I will go 1 for 1 each stitch. I will show you once I'm done. Will take a couple of days because I need more yarn and I may need some inspiration because I want this to be ready. It's been a bit tiring project, to be honest. When you do small squares, it gives you the full flexibility of the size and flexibility to change it, you know, mid-work, as I have done. But it also drags the job immensely, and yeah. But anyway, yeah, we'll see when I have more yarn and we can finally finally show you the actual finished project. It is time to attach buttons, to make buttonholes for the upper side. And what I do is I place stitch mark where I'm gonna have the buttonholes, and that is because if I don't, I will just crochet through. So this is the way I do it when I'm doing ripping straight to the actual cardigan. And she wanted wooden buttons, and I always compare the size of the button to the stitches. So the amount of stitches you skip while doing the buttonhole should be smaller than the width of the button. And we are here between 2, might be a bit tight, but 3 might be a bit loose. So we will test. And how I do this is I will test first with 2, and if the button fits through fine, that's what we're gonna go with. So we are here starting a new round. Oh, I got stuck right away. With the stitch marked. So this is the row we are making our buttonhole. So we have 10 stitches and I want it to be in the middle. So we're skipping 2. We will crochet 4, skip 2 and crochet 4, right? I hope my math is right. Yeah, it's 4, 4, 8 plus 2, 10. Yep. So we will just the same ordinary way we would usually do. So I just crochet back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip 2, 1, 2, and then we just keep going. Nothing more than this. And let's see if the button fits through, and then we can just keep going. So this is the buttonhole, this is the button. Oh, that's perfect. So it will stay tight, but it will fit through without too much of an effort. We will do this for every button we have planned. It is impossible to add these afterward, so I highly recommend the trick with the stitch markers. And this is how it looks. Not much to see because it's quite small, but that's also a good thing because when it's not closed, it's not too obvious. We're almost done, so next is the full review. It's finally ready. Look at it. It is so freaking cute. Everything is weaved in, everything is done. It's ready to be given to her, and let's see what she thinks about it.
Is it done?
Yes.
Yay!
There's a video going. You need to try it on video.
Oh, hey. Wait, which way is it? I need help. Up, so like that. Can I wear this to the playdate with Sarah?
Sure.
Yay. You just need to like do the buttons and it'll be like done.
The buttons are done.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh! I didn't even realize that.
Do like 360. And now tell what you think about it.
I really love it. And if you have a kid at home who likes like light colors, like these two light colors, you should make one. Yeah. Subscribe.
Well, she obviously likes it, but let's take a little recap for the project from my point of view. So the basic like granny square cardigan is like very easy concept. I think you can always add and take away rows from any direction you have to make it fit you. But this particular project, because she wanted to have it warm, so I made it out of wool. But the recommended crochet hook size for this yarn was 3, and I was immediately thinking that that's too small, it will be too stiff, and I went with 4. And when I tested the first squares, the 4 felt good. But now that this is a whole cardigan, I would say it is very warm, but it is also very, very, very thick. So I made another square with size 6 hook with this exact same yarn. And the end result is exactly the same, but softer and larger. So if I was to remade this project, which I'm not gonna do, you can see the size difference. With this one, the project would have taken a lot less time. And the mistake I made with this project is, again, mental. I tend to think that whenever I make a granny square project, in my mind, it's always almost done when I finish the squares themselves. And with this one, it wasn't nearly done. I would remind myself that even I like the square part, and the rest is like, it feels a little bit like work. I would remind myself that it's not done when the squares are done. That's where it starts. So you start to weave in the ends and joining them and stuff like that. But I truly love it. I think this is the cutest piece I've ever made. Oh, and by the way, I still have yarn, and as I made this large square, we're gonna make a balaclava out of the rest of the yarn for the winter. So yeah, that's also coming up. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions about the projects or about the instructions I gave, just let me know. I'll do my best to help. And remember to subscribe for more content like this. Inspiration, free advice, free tips and tricks. And see you in the next video. Subscribe.